Versatile Mage. Chapter 256. As expected, they lost. The Forest of Kun was something Mo Fan had experienced once before. Its might was certainly enough to trap a group of people inside. The vines began to grow at extreme speed. The thorns and spikes on the vines were very distinct, and beneath their feet were demonic grasses that kept wiggling about. If you didn't carefully take notice of this strange grass, they would grip your feet, and after that, the extremely tough whip vines would begin to bind your feet together like ropes. The Forest of Kun was growing. Not too long afterward, it had turned the location where the 4 people of Pearl Institute were standing into a big shrubbery cage. If the people inside the prison wanted to use magic, they would have to first destroy the dense prison of plant life. However, the people of Imperial College did not have the patience to wait for them to find a way to get out of this. They all watched the girl called Zhao Mingyu, who had finished casting her plant magic, and now strode right to the front. Whoosh! Fierce flames scuttled forth. The scarlet light immediately illuminated the entire arena. The flames emerged from her body and spread into rings of flames. Following her loud shout, all of the fierce flames began to condense on her right hand. "What is she doing?" Chen Bingxiao asked, feeling a bit confused. It's clear that the Forest of Kun is still activated. If they were to use Fiery Fist in this case. Just as Luo Song was about to explain his thoughts, they could see Zhao Mingyu's hair rising within the heatwave. What appeared to be a soft and silky punch had turned into an extremely severe one beneath the flames. A circle was formed around the fiery fist. The further it was shot, the larger the explosive area. When the colossal attack of flames hit the Forest of Kun, the plants in that part of the forest began to burn. The flames from Fiery Fist burned very fast, turning the Forest of Kun into a sea of flames within mere seconds as it burned violently. Originally, Shen Mingxiao, Luo Song, Peng Liang, and Zhao Manyan were only being restricted by the Forest of Kun. That did not have as much of an effect on their combat prowess. With the fiery flames hitting the forest, they were now trapped in a jungle with flames everywhere. The flames were everywhere. To add to it, there was still some plants that had yet to be burned down. If those trapped wanted to escape from the Forest of Flames, it would be a little difficult. They sure are vicious. Chen Bingxiao finally understood their plan. The fire element was very capable of restraining the plant element. The second the flames touched the plants, they were burned to ashes. The people from Imperial College had used this kind of restraining theory to create a forest of flames. The effect was far more effective than just throwing a fiery fist at one of the students. The Scarlet Jungle had already engulfed Shen Mingxiao and his people. No one knew just what kind of situation was unfolding inside it. The flames burned very quickly. The black ashes still maintained the form of the growing vines, but with a warm updraft blowing lightly, they were immediately peeled off and crumbled. The gigantic forest had been burned down. The flames from the fiery fist gradually calmed down and died out. The crowd of people were discussing this before everyone suddenly realized that in the middle of the mess, there was something looming out. After they looked carefully, it was clear that thing was precisely a stone shell. This stone shell was obdurately covering an entire area. "It's the intermediate earth magic, rock block," Chen Bingxiao exclaimed in joy. It seemed like the 4 of them weren't completely unprepared. Luo Song was the one with intermediate earth ability. When the rock shell defense finally wore off and receded into the earth, Luo Song finally put down the hands that were supporting it. His fat cheeks displayed a bit of exhaustion. He had used the defense of rock block to completely stop the attack of fiery flames. The burning of the prison of Kun was naturally also blocked away. All of this energy expended would naturally affect him. So you actually had some ability when you're showing off every day. Shen Mingxiao had also completed his intermediate magic under the protection of Luo Song. Shen Mingxiao cast his wind magic. In the burned ashes, a frantic wind began to brew. It lifted the ashen grit as it flowed through the arena. The wind grew stronger and stronger. Although the air was invisible, with the dust swept up inside it, you could see the outline of its form. It was the fierce, rotating funnel of a tornado. The tornado was at least 2 meters wide, and began to move toward the people of the Imperial College under the control of Shen Mingxiao. It was violent as it moved toward them, able to shred all of the people in front of it into pieces within its own territory. Humph, I'll take care of it. On the other side, the white-clothed Liao Mingxuan pursed his lips. The clothes on his body began to float, along with a stream of air that bubbled forth from his feet. They were both masters of wind. Liao Mingxuan wanted to have a battle of winds with Shen Mingxiao. Wind disk. Tornado quickly scuttled forth from his star atlas. Shen Mingxiao's tornado had yet to cross half of the arena when Liao Mingxuan's hand let out a similar tornado. The two tornadoes were moving around them and happened to violently rotate in opposite directions. When the two finally collided, the entire arena suddenly seemed to go silent. You could no longer feel even a little bit of wind. In the next instant, the place where the two tornadoes collided birthed a new sound. It seemed like the two funnels had fused together, and a new cyclone had replaced them. With the location they collided at as the center, it began to spread ferociously in all directions. The driving wind was totally unrestrained. When it howled over, it caught the people from both sides off guard. All of them were blown into the air. Fortunately, the edges of the battle arena had a soft water barrier protecting them, or the cyclone that blew the two sides away would have broken many of their bones. They really are stupid beyond redemption. They have no understanding toward the characteristics of the wind. Beneath the arena, Lu Zhenghe huffed as he watched Liao Mingxuan's wind in disdain. Lu Yiming also raised his eyebrow. This kind of thing where both sides lost shouldn't happen too often. If they had relied on their strength, they would be able to firmly grasp victory this time. After they got back up, Zhao Mingyu glared fiercely at Liao Mingxuan and said, "Listen to my commands." Liao Mingxuan clutched his waist as he stood up, his face bitter. Fortunately, everyone was at the intermediate level. This type of attack wasn't heavy, and it wasn't severe enough for them to forfeit the battle. Mo Fan, Mu Nujiao, Song Chia, and Zheng Bingxiao, the four of you go prepare. Gu Han watched the battle in the arena as he named the four students. The battle on the arena had been going on for a while now. The four of them did not betray Mo Fan's expectations. This round was definitely lost. In terms of strength, the two sides were on par. They were all very adept in using their two elements of magic, however. In terms of teamwork, the four people of Pearl Institute were clearly much messier. This issue was identified by Gu Han ages ago. Thus, when he had named four more people, including Mo Fan, Gu Han couldn't help but feel a bit more worried. He was worried that they'd lose because of this problem in the next round as well. Mr. Gu Han, don't worry, we will definitely defeat them. Song Chia said sincerely. Okay, take care of yourselves. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.